in like this like contraction, it's like when the sodium rushes in, like hyper. Is it hyper or hypotonic? And then I didn't know if it's like A and what to B. So I was trying to put it in words that I don't know.
If it's rushing in, I would say it's
Hypo.
Is it next
That's
one?
what I think. Because I didn't know if it was because it says
the
like where is it? Outside of the cell. So I didn't know if that means there's a lot of sodium outside and then it's all rushing in. I didn't know if I was just confusing myself when I was learning.
Oh no, it's kind of. I mean, I would think it's hypo.
That's what I thought. Like I put like
I really don't know.
yeah. Put over it. I put it. I said hyper, and then I was like, just think of it as like lots of sodium outside. So I'm trying to like just remember it like that, but then I'm like, if it's wrong, then you're screwed.
Hopefully it's not just too much over that. Like,
I know.
Are you guys all nursing?
Yeah.
Are you guys in the program?
No.
Mercy.
I'm like alternate C right now, so I'm waiting to get in.
Where are you gonna
Here. Huh?
Where are you gonna go here?
Yeah.
You guys are still in for your RN?
Yeah, I'm not finished, so I'll get my BSM, but it's way cheaper to get an RN here than
I
finish.
started at UT.
I did too. I hated it.
Really?
Where?
Yeah.
Dude, I loved it. I loved UT. I
Really?
lived in the
Why'd you
dorms,
transfer
so-
then? I lived in the dorms too.
Which one?
I lived in Carter.
Same.
Dude, you look familiar. That's what I thought. You were
What floor were you on?
third.
I was on 4.
Yeah, you
West or east?
I was west. I don't know.
No, you're on the west side.
Was I in the west?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Did you? Weird.
You basically, I was my best friend Marissa, so you might have her. We didn't really do much anything. Everything was just studied.
Same. We didn't do anything. I had a cat. You probably heard about it.
Oh yeah, you guys.
Yeah. I have a cat. Whenever I tell people, they're like, oh, you have a cat. Everyone saw her because I snuck her in. And then we like came in and found her. And they were like, there's a cat in there. And then they like told me, they were like, there's a cat in your room. And there's like 12 pictures of me and my cat all around the room. They're like, do you know who she belongs to? I'm like,
No idea.
yeah, I'm like, well, her food is in there, her liquor box. I'm like, she must have snuck in.
She
They're
just
like,
kinda
"Seriously, I was
showed
like, "Oh
up."
my God." So I actually moved out after second or after the first semester.
I did you?
Really? I
So
said,
one
did you
person's
pay for it?
missing, let me see.
I picked the first semester.
Jenny Lynn?
That's
Over here?
The second.
All
I
right,
like
Kelsey?
out there now. I was like,
Gina?
Dude, I had to pay for the second.
Wait a minute. Jenny Lynn?
No, I'm Gina. I
Good.
raised my hand thinking.
Brandy? Jessica?
Dude, it's so fun.
Danielle?
Swan?
Sabrin?
here.
Okay. Dominique? Jacob? Jacobs. Okay. So, Jonathan. Okay. All right. So everybody have a good long weekend? That's good. All right, we need more of those, right? All right, so this is where we left off, talking about the muscular system. And when we finish the muscular system, that'll be it for the quiz, which is next Wednesday. Okay. So the quiz will just cover the muscular system. When we get done with this, we'll get into the nervous system. And we'll be talking about that for a little while. So again, this is where we left off. I gave you the handout. It goes through the steps of muscle contraction. So I would look that over a couple times. Make sure you understand the process. So again, what you see up here is on the left, you've got a relaxed muscle. And you can see the banding here and how it's different over here because, again, of the movement of the two Z lines toward each other. So here you can see especially the difference right there, right? Where you see the thin filaments overlapping, you don't see that over here, right? So that's what happens with a muscle contraction. All right, so let's reinforce this by taking a look at a YouTube video that pretty much was, oh, okay. Well, I got it to work, but
Did you?
you got batteries? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, that would be great for that.
You're done late, right?
All right. So this YouTube video goes through the same thing, but I think it's helpful to see the animation here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay. stepped on the power. Oh, that's good. All right, so talk amongst yourselves for a couple minutes while we reboot here.
Wait, so where'd you go?
Genoa.
Genoa? You know Aaron?
Walnut? Conley?
Karen, gosh, yeah.
Yes. We were in the same grade. Do you know it?
Yeah, he was in my lab.
Strange little
He
name.
was busy.
Uh-huh.
I saw him at the same Walmart.
Yeah, I haven't seen him and I don't talk to anyone from my high school anymore, like, at all.
It's crazy, you didn't like the dorms?
No,
No.
no, because like, I had a boyfriend and he was going here and just like, you know,
Dude, why are you going to university?
I'm getting my BSN. I'm not getting my
It's so much more expensive.
yeah, but it's so much worth it. Getting your
Yeah.
BSN. Like if you don't have your RN within like 4 years, they're gonna be done hiring RNs in hospitals.
My friend just graduated from here and just got my RN, and she literally had 6 hospitals going.
Really?
Yeah, she
Dang.
There's such a shortage in RNs. Well, not even just RNs, like nursing homes and stuff. But they said RNs are gonna be on like hospital works and
True. I thought the
like his
same.
mom.
Like they want people to get the
His
BSN.
mom's a nurse practitioner. His dad also has a master's in nursing from like they just told us like it's not even getting my RN like
Yeah.
at this point.
And the BSNs, like when you go to college, they get treated way better. I don't know, I couldn't say anything about the
His
OWS
dad's a
program.
clinical teacher.
I couldn't say anything about the OWS program, but I know that, like, if you're going for your BSN, they treat them better. Like, they give all the RNs, like, the really crappy stuff. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna get my BSN.
Yeah, same.
The
It's just,
bridge program.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what, I wanna like get in somewhere and like, then they like help you pay
Yeah.
for it or something like that. Cause, or like, I'm actually very close to having my associates in science, so like, even if I could go like work at a hospital right now, just get my foot in the door, like, I'm really like 3 credit hours away from an associate's in just science, so.
I mean, like,
Yeah, I think we probably all are.
right.
That's so funny, I do live in Clark.
Mhm.
I didn't like Clark.
I didn't like it was horrible.
It was.
There's so many like difficulties.
the showers were broken.
No, you was on the 3rd floor, you were probably on east side. Because.
Like, if you're looking, okay, so if you're looking at it from the stadium, like, you're looking at the front of the building, she was on the left side. Oh, okay. Sorry.
So
Oops.
we used to out there at
That is like showers.
Dude, one time I got out of the shower, like literally just got out, and there was like a big dude in the bathroom, and I was like,
They're like, oh, excuse me.
and I was like, and he was like,
You're like, I had help.
so, this guy.
there was always guys on that show.
That's so weird.
That's weird, yeah, we never did that. But then again, like my RAs are really
Mine were so mean.
mine were so mean too.
Seriously, I was like, what? Like, I heard a 2-page paper in PhD because my cat was like,
That's so stupid.
I was like, are you serious? And that's what I
A
was
2-page paper?
I read a 2-page paper why I wouldn't do it again, and I was like, truth is, I really would, because they wouldn't give me my transcript to come here.
Really?
I was like, we're a 2-page paper. So I just sit there and write this stupid paper.
Is that why you transferred as well?
Well, I honestly I transferred just because I had an office with my boyfriend, and they just like, we live in like uptown Money, like above the little like
Right.
and I was like, this was like closer, and I was like, it's just not. Since I was living in the dorms, that's really why I was eating. I wanted like.
I know, me too. I was like, I thought it would be so much fun. And like, I literally.
That's how like a lot of my friends are, because I have friends that live there. I think my friends lived in Carter, honestly, but
It's like honestly, like in the BSN program at UT or like in the nursing program here, like you don't have much time to party. Like you literally
Yeah.
always study. Like, so what's the point of you living?
yeah.
No, it was too much.
One question.
You guys are going to class. see, it'd be nice if they just let us go, but I don't have that, like, time, whatever.
Dude, I have a class at like 2.
Oh.
Normally I have a lab at 11.
Yeah, we had to stay, we've been staying at like a hotel, because there's a bathroom. Yeah, dude, so it's like Saturday night, we get home, and it's 1 a.m. to right now, my mom. We lay down, and this dude flies right over my head, and I'm like, where's that? That here.
He did a lot.
So he like gets up and shuts the door, and the little basket of our air conditioner. And I was like, oh my gosh, we went to visit with my mom for a couple days. And then our landlord said, just get a hotel room. And like, yeah, so we got the suite hotel room, we got a jacuzzi in the room. I'm like, I know, I was like, yeah, dude, whatever. Like, he's gonna put his pants.
Whatever we did.
Yeah, we were like, he was like in the shower and like his dad used to just like leave like the sliding door open all the time, like just cause. And then it was just us two in his house and he was in the shower and like I was laying in his bed and a bird starts flying around. And I just like start screaming, he like runs out with like shampoo in his hair, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, there's a bird in here.
That's happened to me before because I have like a total of 3 fireplaces at my house, and we had to like have the chutes open in the summer because we'd like have fires, but like and then we just forgot to close it, and oh my god, we had like 2 birds like fly down, and like they're just kind of like flying in the thing, and then like oh shit, they're about to come into the house, and like of course they break through like a little like we have like a little mesh thing. Oh, they get through that, and they're literally just like squeaking and making all these noises.
See, we can't find a bat.
Oh, that's scary.
And I told him, I was like, you're finding a bat, or you're paying for me to live in a hotel because.
Yeah.
I had a bat one time and my cat killed it.
I had a bat at my dance studio.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
that's like.
we came outside and my cat's like sitting next to us and there's like a pool.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And it was huge.
That's insane.
Muscle tissues are involuntary. You do not consciously control their actions. Skeletal muscle works under voluntary control. Skeletal muscles are composed of bundles of muscle fibers. Muscle fibers are long cylindrical cells containing several nuclei. Muscles will contract or relax when they receive signals from the nervous system. A neuromuscular junction is the site of the signal exchange. This is where the synaptic bulb of an axon terminal and muscle fiber connect. Muscle fibers are composed of many myofibrils. A myofibril contains contractile units called sarcomeres. Sarcomeres run adjacent to one another down the length of the myofibril. Each sarcomere consists of alternating thick and thin protein filaments, giving skeletal muscle its striated appearance. The muscle contracts when these filaments slide past each other. The thick filaments are myosin, which are anchored at the center of the sarcomere, called the M-line. The thin filaments are composed of the protein actin, which are anchored to the Z-lines on the outer edges of the sarcomere. Because the actin filaments are anchored to the Z-lines, the sarcomere shortens from both sides when actin filaments slide along the myosin filaments. Although the action between the filaments is described as sliding, the myosin filament actually pulls the actin along its length. The cross bridges of the myosin filaments attach to the actin filaments and exert force on them to move. This action is known as the sliding filament mechanism of muscle contraction. In this model, the sarcomeres shorten without the thick or thin filaments changing in length. A contraction begins when a bound ATP is hydrolyzed to ADP and inorganic phosphate. This causes the myosin head to extend and can attach to a binding site on actin, forming a cross bridge. An action called the power stroke is triggered, allowing myosin to pull the actin filament toward the M line, thereby shortening the sarcomere. ADP and inorganic phosphate are released during the power stroke. The myosin remains attached to actin until a new molecule of ATP binds, freeing the myosin to either go through another cycle of binding and more contraction, or remain unattached to allow the muscle to relax. Muscle contractions are controlled by the actions of calcium. The thin actin filaments are associated with regulatory proteins called troponin and tropomyosin. When a muscle is relaxed, tropomyosin blocks the cross-bridge binding sites on actin. When calcium ion levels are high enough and ATP is present, calcium ions bind to the troponin, which displaces tropomyosin, exposing the myosin binding sites on actin. This allows myosin to attach to a binding site on actin, forming a cross bridge. Calcium ions are stored in the sarcoplasmic reticulum and are released in response to signals from the nervous system to contract. Neurotransmitter molecules are released from a neuron and bind to receptors, which depolarizes the membrane of the muscle fiber. The electrical impulse travels down the T-tubules and opens calcium stores. Calcium ions flow to the myofibrils, where they trigger a muscle contraction. As the actin and myosin slide along each other, the entire sarcomere shortens as the Z lines draw closer to the M line. As the sarcomeres in myofibrils contract, the entire muscle fiber will shorten. When muscle fibers contract in unison, a muscle can produce enough force to move the body, allowing you to take notes.
All right, so there you go. Is that helpful? You know, you can go to YouTube and do it again if you want. Yep.
Are you gonna be like testing us like heavily on this like worksheet right here, or should we just know like the basics? Are you gonna like test us heavily on this, or should we just like?
If you know the basics, like what she just went through
Right.
there, you should be in pretty good shape. Okay.
All right.
All right. So just the basic sequence of events. And what you just saw up there is ATP is required for muscle contraction, for the myosin to attach to the actin, and it's also required for it to let go, right? So the next thing we're going to look at here is where does that come from? Where does that energy come from? You know, for you to be able to do this, contract muscles. Where does that ATP come from? All right. So next, let's take a look at the sources of energy for muscle contraction. And there are three sources of energy here. You see them depicted from left to right here. So the first one is called the phosphagen system. Phosphagen system. So we'll look at that first. That's represented right here. And then the second in the middle there is called the glycogen lactic acid system. And then, as we'll see, these two here will give you enough energy for muscle contraction for about 30 seconds or so, 30 to 40 seconds. So it's not going to sustain